The New York Knicks have quietly had a busy offseason. It started with the firing of Tom Thibodeau and the hiring of Mike Brown. Then they opened it up by signing Jordan Clarkson and Yabusele, two guys off the bench, which this team desperately needed. Then they just recently extended Mikal Bridges. They drafted Diawara, who I personally think has a bright future in this league. Today, we're going to grade their offseason thus far. Look, it is not over. It is August 10th. Still got one more roster spot to go. It's rumored that they could be interested in Ben Simmons, Malcolm Brogdon, or bringing back Landry Shamet. Who knows? We'll react to that when that happens. But right now, I am going to grade their offseason thus far. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. Subscribe, like, all the good stuff before we get started. And let's go. All right, so let's start with Mike Brown. So they fired Tom Thibodeau. So a lot of Knicks fans and, media members did not want Tom Thibodeau to go. But a lot of Knicks fans, on the other hand, wanted Tom Thibodeau to get fired. And I'm a part of that boat. I thought it was time for a new voice. You bring in Mike Brown, and Mike Brown's resume is pretty damn good. We've known of Mike Brown since his Cleveland days, coaching LeBron James, coached them to an NBA Finals appearance, won multiple championships with the Golden State Warriors as an assistant coach, went to Sacramento and kind of turned that franchise around with the third best record in the Western Conference, 48-34, his first season in Sacramento. 48-34. The next season after that, 46-36. Then this year prior, he got, unfortunately, fired. Coaches get fired. I don't really care about that. Mike Brown is a very respected head coach in this league, so I'm happy that he is on board. A lot of Knicks fans really didn't like the Mike Brown signing. When I first saw it, I was like, Mike Brown, they could have went a different direction. But as time goes on, I'm really starting to understand Leon Rose's thinking. You bring in a veteran coach in here with a team that is ready to win now. You couldn't take a risk on a rookie head coach. Unfortunately, we are not going to know if this works out until the playoffs next season. As lazy as that sounds, I do think Mike Brown will come in here, coach these guys to hopefully an NBA Finals appearance, and we just go from there. But the passes should be up. Sacramento led the league in passes. One of the years Mike Brown was the head coach. The offensive sets should be great. You give him two players off the bench in Jordan Clarkson and Yabusele, and we're still not done in signing one more player. There's players on this team that did not like Tom Thibodeau anymore. You take Tom Thibodeau out of the equation, you bring in Mike Brown. Hopefully it works out. So I am going to give this grade a B. All right, now let's move on to Jordan Clarkson. Honestly, if you were to ask me, do I think the New York Knicks will get this done? Like, Anthony, do you think the Knicks can get a Jordan Clarkson? I would say hell no. They had to have some luck involved, and Jordan Clarkson got bought out by the Utah Jazz, and the New York Knicks swooped in and took him. Look, Jordan Clarkson is a 33-year-old vet in the NBA. Obviously, he's more of a shooting guard than a point guard. He's more of a tweener guard who at times can be a little bit trigger happy, and hopefully Mike Brown will, coach him up and say, look, man, we don't need you to be trigger happy. We just need you to handle the ball some, and we just go from there. But ultimately, this was an A-plus signing for the New York Knicks. Jordan Clarkson, 33 years old, can handle the ball tremendously. Last season, let's go to his shooting accuracy, mid-range, 41%, long mid-range, 47% last season, short mid, 40%. Efficiency just really hasn't been there in the last few years for Jordan Clarkson, but he has been with the terrible Utah Jazz. Like, I want to really pinpoint that point because the Jazz were terrible. And of course, Jordan Clarkson is just there hooping and they're not trying to win games, right? And now you bring Jordan Clarkson in a winning situation. Hopefully, with the new system, more talent around him, hopefully that can, get his efficiency up because we love to see that. Not really a good corner, not really a good 3-point shooter throughout his career. So this, I'm sure, will stay 34, 35, 30. Anytime you can get Jordan Clarkson shooting 37%, in my opinion, that is a win. If the Knicks can get him shooting 38%, 37%, that is a huge win. He doesn't really attempt a lot of corner 3-point shots. 12 of 26 last year. So 26 attempts from corner three from Jordan Clarkson. Hopefully the Knicks can get that up because he is a good corner 3-point shooter. But ultimately, this was slam dunk for the New York Knicks, getting Jordan Clarkson. They needed another ball handler. They may need another one, to be honest with you. And that is an area where they struggled with the most, especially versus the Indiana Pacers, where they just threw two guys at Jalen Brunson, and the New York Knicks were just in hell in hell. Unfortunately, we know what happened down in Indiana. But Jordan Clarkson, slam dunk. You get scoring off the bench. You get that punch off the bench. There's going to be games where he's going to make you pull your hair out, yes. But there's going to be games where he's going to drop 20, 25 points. And you're going to say, that is the Jordan Clarkson that we signed up for. I'm going to give this move an A, to be honest with you. We needed a bench scoring guard off the bench other than Deuce. And Jordan Clarkson brings a lot of that. All right, so next up on the list, we have Guerschon Yabusele, 29-year-old French forward that played with the Philadelphia 76ers last season. Obviously, Boston Celtics gave him an opportunity. Then he went to France and really improved his game, improved his skills, and really was a good player for the Philadelphia 76ers. The Knicks signed him on a 2-year deal. It's a tremendous deal. He essentially replaces the Precious Achiuwa role. Precious Achiuwa is out. The New York Knicks replace him with Guerschon Yabusele. Precious Achiuwa, not really a good offensive player, but Yabusele is a good three-point shooter, better offensive player than Precious Achiuwa, and you can see it in the numbers. His efficiency field goal percentage last season, 59.8%. That is pretty good for his position, 71% at the rim. Look at his three-point shots. He shot 39% from three last season, non-corner three, 40%. So that is above the break threes. So the New York Knicks, when he is out there, he is going to be above the break. He is going to stretch the floor. You can put him out with Karl-Anthony Towns, and teams are going to have to respect him because he is a great three-point shooter in general. All right, so this is what I love the most. This is his on and off stats last season in Philadelphia. Look, the Philadelphia 76ers were an absolute disaster last season, but when Yabusele was on the court, they were plus 7.4 in points per possession. Offense, they were plus 7.5 in points per possession. So when he was on the court, the offense was better. And he can provide that with his three-point shooting, his ability to run the fast breaks, very sneaky, good fast break player. And that's what the New York Knicks were missing at times last year as well. Defensively, needs some work a little bit. Look, not really a good defender, but at times he can do his thing. Let me check his. So if we go to his defense and rebounding numbers, as you can see, block percentage, not great at all. They're all in the blue. Steal percentage is pretty good. 1.4% steal percentage. How many steals did the players get per team play? 1.4% steal percentage. So offensive rebounds off of free throws, that was 8.8%. So he's really good at that. But defensively, needs some work. But offensively, I think he can make up for that. And Yabusele is just, in my opinion, another perfect package player. It seems like the New York Knicks are really leaning into being a great offensive team. Defensively is something where the New York Knicks are going to, in my opinion, struggle with. And it's something where I'm honestly going to watch through the beginning of the season and mid-season. That is a concern of mine, is the New York Knicks defense. Defensively is an area where I'm going to keep an eye on because Jordan Clarkson, good offensive player. Defensively, Yabusele, good offensive player. Defensively, needs some work. So defensively is an area where I'm going to keep my eye on. But Guerschon Yabusele, in my opinion, I'll give the grade a B+. This was a tremendous get for the New York Knicks, and I'm just super happy, and I can't wait to watch him play in a New York Knicks uniform. All right, so let's keep it rolling. Let's get to the extension of Mikal Bridges. So the New York Knicks extended Mikal Bridges for 4 years, $150 million. In my opinion, worth it. You traded 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. He looked miserable his first year in a New York Knicks uniform. He looked miserable, and he still gave you some great moments in the playoffs. Obviously, we know the 2 defensive plays versus Boston and the good fourth quarter against the Detroit Pistons. But during the season, it was up and down shaky for Mikal Bridges, right? And if you look at the numbers, they were actually pretty damn good for Mikal Bridges. Look, his first year as a New York Knicks, 18% usage rate. If we go to his shooting was very up and down his first year. His corner threes were amazing, 43%, all mid, 51% from mid, one of the best mid-range shooters in the NBA. I mean, these numbers are honestly great, 76% at the rim. I mean, that's tremendous. I mean, it's the non-corner threes that Mikal Bridges struggle with. And honestly, if he can get that up to 36% like he did in his final year in Brooklyn, sign me up for that. But Mikal Bridges, defensively, in my opinion, he showed his upside versus Boston. And I think with a new coach, new voice, new system, I honestly think he did not like Tom Thibodeau. I'm just happy that Mikal Bridges is bought in. We see him at the practice facility with the young guys. We see him with Pacom Daddier. We see him with everyone especially we saw him down in Summer League. He's bought in, right? And you love players like that. And honestly, durability in the NBA is king. And Mikal Bridges is literally the healthiest player, dare I say, in the world. In a world where NBA players get hurt, we don't have to worry about that, knock on wood, with Mikal Bridges. He is out there every single game. You got players taking 10 games off a season, just chalk it up. 15 to 10 games off a season, chalk it up. Not Mikal Bridges. He is out there every single night. So you can't really put a price on that. And obviously the Knicks signed him to a big extension. In my opinion, I'm on board with it. So I love this re-signing of Mikal Bridges. I think he's bought in. I think Mike Brown can really utilize Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby in ways that, quite frankly, we haven't seen. Look, Tom Thibodeau, great head coach, but I'm really interested to see what offensive sets Mike Brown brings in here. How the defense is going to look with Mikal and OG Anunoby. Because at times, we thought they were going to be lockdown wing defenders. And during the season, it really, like, it was a roller coaster, right? In the playoffs, it was pretty good. It was a roller coaster. So I'm excited to see second year Mikal Bridges. First year is out the way. Now let's get to the second year. This is the year where I think a lot of these guys are going to have big seasons. So Mikal Bridges, the contract extension, I'm going to give it an A. I think his second year with the New York Knicks is going to be massive, and I can't wait to watch Mikal Bridges play. All right, now let's get to Mohamed Diawara. Look, the New York Knicks drafted Diawara with the 51st pick in the second round. And what we saw in the Summer League, in my opinion, is just a glimpse of how good he can be in the NBA. Look, I know he's on our team. I know he's a New York Knicks, so we tend to fall in love with these guys and we tend to overrate these guys. We've done it with a bunch of Knicks prospects, but there's something about Diawara in which I like. I mean, his size, number one, he can run the fast break. If he can only get a shot, if he can only shoot, 35% from three, I think that's a huge plus in my opinion. His passing ability, his, size. I mean, a lot of people are comparing him to Pascal Siakam. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, but he can be a mold to Pascal Siakam. If he can just generate, some type of consistent shot from mid-range to shooting the three, in my opinion, defensibility obviously is there as well. He's just an energizer, in my opinion. I mean, we saw him fighting for loose balls. We saw him fighting for offensive rebounds. So in my opinion, Mohamed Diawara, look, he's not going to play this year for the New York Knicks. I'm just excited to watch him in the Knicks system. The Knicks have proven that they can develop some young players in the NBA, and Diawara, in my opinion, is just up next. And obviously, we have Pacom Daddier, we have Kevin McCullough Jr. that we're going to be watching, and it seems like the New York Knicks are high on McCullough Jr., and I'm excited for that. Diawara, in my opinion, I'm going to give it a B. Look, we don't know what he can be in the NBA, but what we've seen so far, I'm enthused. I'm intrigued. I'm enthused. I like Diawara. You've seen me make videos about Diawara. If you guys haven't, I've made a YouTube video about Diawara. You can catch up here. Diawara, I'm going to give it a B. All right. So when you take everything in consideration, the firing of Tom Thibodeau, the signing of Mike Brown, the signing of Jordan Clarkson, the signing of Yabusele, the extension of Mikal Bridges, the drafting of Diawara, and we still have one more roster spot to go. So up to this point thus far on August 10th, I am going to give the New York Knicks grade this offseason a B+. I will push that to an A if the New York Knicks can sign someone of the ilk of, let's say, I'm really intrigued with Malcolm Brogdon. That would be my choice. Ben Simmons has been floated out there. A lot of Knicks fans don't want Ben Simmons or Landry Shamet. If they can, re-sign Shamet or, bring in a Brogdon in here, another ball handler that can kind of defend a little bit, I will push that to an A, and I am calling this season the most important Knicks season we have had in 2 decades. I haven't been this excited to watch a New York Knicks team. I don't even think I was born yet, to be honest with you. Look, I was excited last year, but the expectations last year was what? Eastern Conference Finals for some? We made it. We got to the Eastern Conference Finals. Things fell our way, right? Things fell our way. We got the Pacers. We lost again to the Indiana Pacers. Now we fired the coach. Now we bring in a new bench. Second year of Karl-Anthony Towns and Mikal Bridges. I honestly think this season is going to be one of those seasons where we look back and say to ourselves, wow, that was a special Knicks season, and hopefully it can end in the NBA championship for the New York Knicks, because right now, in my opinion, it's the Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers in the East, and that's it. The expectations are high for this Knicks team, no doubt, and all eyes are going to be on them, but I'm going to give their offseason so far a B. And we shall see who this final signing is to push that grade to an A. Let me know, what do you guys give this offseason from the New York Knicks? What grade do you give this offseason? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Anthony. I'm in the new studio, as you guys can see. Little sneak peek of the new studio. It's not a sneak peek, actually. I mean, we're here. Live stream's coming back soon. Player breakdowns are coming back soon. Obviously, Chris and I do the player breakdowns. We started doing that last year. Every single Knick gets their own video, so that should be fun. The Knicks Nation hats are coming soon. They are coming soon. I'm really excited for that. Can't wait for you guys to check out the Knicks Nation hats. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, what grade do you give the New York Knicks this offseason? I'm giving them a B so far. They can push that to an A if they sign someone that I like in the coming week. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. Subscribe, like, all the good stuff. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.